For example, I was doing a group process the other day, and the lady said, yeah, I'm procrastinating about decluttering. Fine. It doesn't have to be super specific, like I'm procrastinating about decluttering the garage or the kitchen cupboards. It doesn't have to be that much, but just a little more specific than I'm procrastinating, to bring a bit more focus, which when you have that a little bit more focus, then probably you wouldn't go in circles in the same way, right? Because your mind could have been going to like jumping, basically changing the problem. Does that make sense? There is another way to tackle this type of thing, which we're also doing next week, because when the problem is not really just one problem, it's lots of related problems, and procrastination falls into that category, as does I don't know. Well, the best example is relationships, because that's never just one problem. That's like, you've got a lot of problems with this other person. They've got a lot of problems with you, usually, right? Long-term relationships. But anything like anxiety or, stress, right? When you're stressed is perhaps the best example. When you're stressed, you're not just stressed about one thing. You're stressed about everything, right? So maybe the thing that initially stressed you was, I don't know, work. But once you're stressed, everything is stressful. So when we have something like that, we have two options. We can either tackle one thing at a time by saying, what are you stressed about? And it might be 4 things. And then we say, okay, what do you want to work on first? Tackle that with problem shifting, maybe. Then we tackle the next thing, and then the next thing. That's one way. So you could have done that with procrastination if the problem had been stated as, I'm procrastinating about something in particular, right? Clear that, then clear the next one. But the other way to tackle it is to use blockage shifting that we're using next week, because then we are actually encouraging the problem to change so that we can keep finding the relations in the mind, right? All these different related problems until there's nothing left. Now, the advantage of that is it's very thorough. We get to the point where you just can't find any problem in that whole area of procrastination, right? You just feel clear. Or if we're working on stress, at the end of it, you can't find any stress anywhere. Or if we're working on a relationship, and at first, right, let's say it's a long-term relationship, the person is working on the relationship with their husband. And at first, all they can, like when they think of their husband, there's nothing but problems that are coming up, right? But then at the end of blockage shifting, they cannot find a problem with their husband anymore. So it's very thorough. It's something extra happens when you get to that place of like, I can't find any problem anywhere. It's very transformative. But the downside is it takes longer. Of course it does, because it's not just one problem. So that's why when we do blockage shifting, we tend to not want to do it in the first couple of sessions with a client.